In the waning days of April 1945, as the Third Reich collapsed under Allied assault, a grim chapter in human history neared its end at Dachau, the notorious concentration camp near Munich. With defeat all but certain, Nazi leadership issued chilling orders. Not a single prisoner was to be left alive for the Allies to find. The camp's commandant, SS Obersturmbannführer Eduard Weiter, abandoned his post, fleeing alongside many of his officers and forcing thousands of prisoners onto a death march. Exhausted, starved, and beaten, many perished along the roadside, their bodies marking a trail of suffering and loss. Back at Dachau, chaos reigned. Over 30,000 prisoners remained, skeletal and desperate, trapped behind barbed wire and under the watch of a few hundred Waffen-SS guards. Among those left in charge was a young officer, Heinrich Wicker. Under mounting pressure from a Red Cross official and with the thunder of approaching American artillery echoing closer each hour, Wicker agreed to surrender the camp. The moment was fraught with tension, fear and hope mingling in the air as the possibility of liberation edged closer. On April 29, 1945, Lieutenant Colonel Felix Sparks led his unit of American soldiers toward Dachau. As they advanced, they stumbled upon a harrowing sight: a train sitting idle on the tracks, its cars filled not with passengers, but with the corpses of more than 2,000 men, women, and children. Starved, dehydrated, and shot, these victims bore silent witness to the horrors that had unfolded. The discovery shocked and enraged the soldiers, searing their memories with images of unspeakable cruelty. When the Americans reached the camp, the gates finally opened to reveal a sea of gaunt faces. Starving prisoners, many too weak to stand, stumbled toward their liberators, weeping with relief and disbelief. Sparks, determined to restore order and prevent further violence, instructed his men to secure the camp, distribute food, and provide medical care. Yet the atmosphere was electric with emotion. The soldiers, confronted with the evidence of systematic murder and deprivation, struggled to contain their fury. Inside the camp, discipline began to fray. Some American soldiers, overwhelmed by the horrors they had witnessed, turned their anger on the SS guards who had surrendered. In the chaos, between 30 and 50 SS men and collaborators were executed. Acts of vengeance that, while understandable in the context of such atrocity, stood in violation of the laws of war. The boundaries between justice and revenge blurred amid the rawness of liberation. General Henning Linden, leading another contingent of American troops, arrived at the main gate. There, Heinrich Wicker formally surrendered Dachau, handing over the camp to the Allies. But even in surrender, violence lingered. Wicker, now a prisoner himself, was soon found dead. His murder shrouded in mystery, possibly the result of retribution at the hands of former inmates. Among the first civilians to enter Dachau was Marguerite Higgins, a young war correspondent determined to bear witness. Defying orders, she slipped into the camp and was swept up in the chaos, nearly trampled by the desperate, newly freed prisoners. Her presence underscored the world's need to know the truth of what had happened behind Dachau's walls. In the aftermath, General George Patton investigated the killings of the SS guards. Ultimately, he cleared the American troops of wrongdoing, recognizing the extraordinary circumstances they faced. With the camp liberated, the soldiers confronted their greatest challenge: saving the lives of thousands of emaciated, dying prisoners. They worked tirelessly, aided by medical teams and relief organizations, to bring food, medicine, and hope to those who had survived the unthinkable. The liberation of Dachau marked not just the end of a nightmare, but the beginning of a long and difficult healing. The horrors uncovered there would resonate for generations, a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for both cruelty and compassion. War does not determine who is right, only who is left. Bertrand Russell.